Our spirit feels tired. I want you to listen closely. I want you to lean in and truly hear this. That weight you are carrying is not a sign of your failure. It is not proof that you are lost. That heaviness is the gravity of a divine transition. Look at the universe. Before the dawn, the night is darkest. Before the blossom, the seed must split open in the dark soil, pressing against the weight of the earth. Before a new chapter, the old one must end, and endings often come with the aching pressure of change. Right now, Allah is moving you. He is moving you from an old version of your life to a new one, from an old version of yourself to a new creation. And just like lifting a mighty tree to replant it in richer soil, the roots resist, the earth clings. The process is strenuous. That is why everything feels heavy. The weight you carry is not a random burden. It is not a punishment meted out by a distant, uncaring universe. It is, in fact, something far more profound and intimate. It is the gravity of a divine transition. You feel heavy because you are in motion, being lifted from one state of being and carried toward another by a force of love and wisdom so vast that your current self can scarcely comprehend destination. This heaviness is the spiritual physics of transformation. When a sculptor applies pressure to the clay does not understand it is being shaped into a form of beauty. It only feels the press of the hand. You are that clay, and the pressure you feel is the meticulous, intentional hand of the divine artist, working you into a masterpiece you have yet to envision. Consider the natural world, for Allah speaks to us through His creation. Before the dawn, the night is at its deepest, its most impenetrable black. This is not a sign that the sun has vanished forever. It is the necessary final act of darkness before it is utterly consumed by light. The seed buried in the earth does not sprout in comfort. It must first endure the crushing weight of the soil, the cold, and the dark. It must, in a very real sense, feel the pressure of its own dissolution. The casing must crack, its very form must break apart for the green shoot within to reach for the sky. The pressure is not the enemy of growth. It is its essential precondition. The seed that remains comfortable in the storehouse is safe, but it is also sterile. It is only by submitting to the heavy, dark earth that it fulfills its purpose and becomes a tree. Your life is following this sacred pattern. The heaviness you feel is the soil around the seed of your new self. The endings that ache, the doors that slam shut, the familiar ground that seems to fall away beneath your feet. This is not destruction. It is the necessary breaking of the husk of your old life, so that the essence of who you are meant to be can finally emerge. Right now, in this very moment of your fatigue and doubt, Allah is moving you. He is moving you from an old version of your life, one that may have become too small, too limiting, too worn out for your expanding soul, to a new one. He is moving you from an old version of yourself with its outdated fears, its settled for limitations, its comfortable compromises, to a new creation. This is not a gentle nudge. This is a fundamental relocation. Imagine a mighty, mature tree that has grown for decades in one spot. It has adapted to that soil, even if the soil is depleted. Its roots have spread wide in that familiar earth. To transplant it to richer ground, to a place where it can grow 100 feet taller and bear sweeter fruit, is a monumental task. The roots, entrenched and settled, resist the pull. The earth that has held it for so long clings to those roots. The process is strenuous, violent even from the tree's perspective. It feels uprooted, exposed, and vulnerable. It cannot see the lush valley awaiting it. It only feels the loss of the ground it knew. This is you. The heaviness is the strain of your roots being gently, firmly, pulled from a ground that can no longer sustain the magnitude of your future growth. The anxiety is the feeling of the open air where solid earth once was. The grief is the farewell to a plot of land that served its purpose for a season, but cannot contain the forest you are destined to become. This divine movement is always purposeful, and it is always toward liberation, even when it feels like confinement. Look to the stories woven into the very fabric of faith, for they are our maps. Consider Prophet Musa, peace be upon him, and his people at the edge of the Red Sea. Can we even fathom the crushing weight of that moment? Behind them, the dust cloud of Pharaoh's army, the thunder of chariots, the certain death of a returned slavery. Before them, an endless, impassable barrier of churning water. The pressure was absolute. The heaviness of despair must have been suffocating. They were trapped between an old life of brutal oppression and what seemed like a literal dead end. Yet, it was in that precise moment of maximum pressure, when every earthly avenue was closed, that Allah manifested a miracle that would echo through eternity. The sea did not part while they were safe in their homes in Goshen. It parted at the absolute Chinese letter of their hardship, the peak of their heaviness when they were in motion and had no choice but to trust. The miracle was not granted to relieve them of their journey, but to make their journey possible. Your Red Sea moment, that feeling of being trapped between a pursuing past and an impossible future, is not a sign that Allah has abandoned you. It is the sacred setup for your parting of the seas. The heaviness is the gathering of the waters before they divide. Therefore, what is your duty in this heavy in-between space? Your duty is not to lie down and be crushed by the weight, pretending it isn't there. Nor is it to thrash and rage against it, exhausting yourself in a futile fight against the very process that is meant to save you. Your sacred task is to use this weight. This pressure is your spiritual gymnasium. Every tear shed from a place of genuine surrender is a drop that cleanses the heart and waters the seed of your new life. Every moment of patience through blinding uncertainty is a rep that fortifies the muscle of your trust, your tawakkul. Every single dua you whisper from the raw, honest depth of this feeling. O Allah, this is so heavy, I cannot see, I cannot bear it, but I come to you. That plea connects your heart to its creator with a conductivity that comfortable, easy days can never achieve. This heaviness is making you a deeper, stronger, more compassionate human being. It is expanding your capacity to hold both sorrow and joy, both struggle and peace. So submit to the process. Let your very exhaustion become a prayer. Say, Allah, this weight is real. I feel it in my bones and in my spirit, but I know you are Al-Mu'izz, the honorer, and Al-Mudhil, the humiliator. You are Al-Ba'ith, the resurrector, who raises us from the graves of our old lives. I may not see the new land yet. I may only feel the soreness of the journey, but I believe with a belief I must choose moment by moment that you are the mover. You are taking me from asterisk, here asterisk, to asterisk, there asterisk. So ease my heart. Make my steps firm upon this shaky path. Let me feel your presence in the pressure itself. This surrender is not passivity. It is the most active state of faith. It is aligning your will with the divine current that is already carrying you. The transition asterisk will asterisk end. The new ground asterisk will asterisk appear under your feet, firm, fertile, and meant for you. You will catch your breath and look around at a landscape you could not have imagined from the darkness of the soil. And you will look back at this season of wait, and you will understand. You will see with crystal clarity that every struggle was a necessary force, a divine vector pushing you out of a place that was too small for your soul and into the expanse of a life aligned with your true purpose. The heaviness was never an anchor meant to drown you. It was the sacred tension in the bow, the necessary strain that launched the arrow forward toward a target chosen by the most wise. So hold on, Trust the move. The very fact that you feel the weight is a promise, a guarantee that movement is happening. A new life is not just coming, it is, in this very moment of heaviness, being built for you. Imagine a mighty oak, its branches broad and leaves rustling with the wisdom of 100 seasons. It stands, a testament to endurance, its roots sunk deep into the earth it has known since it was an acorn. This ground, this patch of soil, is its entire world. It has adapted to its nutrients, its pH, its limitations. The tree has grown as much as it can hear. Its roots have learned every contour, every stone. It is stable. It is safe. Yet, unbeknownst to the tree, the soil is now exhausted, leached of the very minerals needed for the tree to grow taller, to produce more abundant acorns, to weather the coming storms of the next century. To remain is to accept a slow, imperceptible decline. And so, the divine gardener decides it is time. The tree is destined for a sun-drenched hillside a mile away, where the soil is deep and rich, where its roots can drink from a hidden aquifer, and where its canopy can become a landmark for generations. The process of this holy relocation is where the metaphor of replanting finds its profound, uncomfortable truth. The first jolt is the severing of the anchoring taproot. This is that sudden, shocking loss, the job that ends unexpectedly, the relationship that fractures, the health diagnosis that changes everything, the dream that dissolves. It is a cut that feels like a death because it is. It is the death of your primary source of stability in the old ground. The tree feels this as trauma. Its very sense of being held is violently interrupted. For you, this feels like free fall, a nauseating plunge into uncertainty. This is the initial, acute heaviness, the weight of a foundational security being ripped away. You gasp for solid ground, but the gardener knows that this anchor was also a chain, keeping you stunted in a place that could no longer nourish your highest growth. Then comes the careful, yet deeply unsettling, excavation. Shovels work around the perimeter, exposing the intricate, sprawling network of lateral roots. These are the 10,000 smaller attachments to your old life, the daily routines that felt comforting, the familiar faces at the cafe, the predictable rhythm of your weeks, the identity of the reliable one, the busy professional, the caregiver. Each of these fine hair, like roots, is a connection, a tiny thread tying you to the plot of land you called home. As the soil is brushed away, these roots are exposed to the air. They feel vulnerable, sensitive, shocked by the unfamiliar. This phase is the prolonged, aching heaviness. It is the grief that follows the initial shock. It is the deep nostalgia for what was, even as you recognize its limitations. It is the feeling of being emotionally raw, where every memory, every reminder of the old life sends a pang through your system. You are literally being unmade from that ground. The earth clings to you because you have become a part of it, and separation, even for a glorious purpose, is a kind of agony. Now the tree is wrapped in burlap, a temporary, constricting bind. This is the in-between state. The old ground is gone, but the new ground is not yet reached. You are in transit. This is the season of waiting, of feeling bound up, of being unable to stretch or grow. Your world has shrunk to the immediate reality of your own discomfort. This is when doubt screams the loudest. Was this a mistake? Look at me. I was a grand tree, and now I am a bundled, vulnerable thing on the back of a truck. I have lost all my dignity, all my grandeur. The wind that once rustled your leaves now buffets you, and you have no soil to hold you steady. This is the heaviness of transition, the purgatory between what was and what will be. It is a necessary, protected state, but it feels like confinement. The burlap keeps your root, ball intact, preserving the essence of you for the new beginning, but it is not designed for comfort. It is designed for survival during the journey. Finally, after a journey that feels endless, you arrive at the new site, but the work is not over. The new hole must be dug deeper and wider than the old one. This is the preparation you cannot see. While you are in transit, feeling every bump in the road, Allah is orchestrating the conditions of your new life. He is preparing the people who will welcome you, orchestrating the opportunities that will fit your gifts, softening hearts, and aligning circumstances. The new hole is a space crafted specifically for your shape and your future growth. Then comes the replanting itself. You are lowered in, and the rich new soil is packed around your exposed roots. This, too, is a pressure. It is unfamiliar. The new soil has a different texture, a different scent. It is not the comfort of the known, it is the potential of the unknown. Your roots must now dare to reach out again, to trust this new earth, to begin the slow, brave work of establishing a new network of connection. And here is the most critical part of the metaphor. After the replanting, the tree often experiences transplant shock. It may droop. It may lose some leaves. It may look, for all the world, like it is dying. This is the final deceptive layer of heaviness. You have arrived in the new place. The external circumstances have shifted, yet internally you feel worse. You think this was supposed to be better. Why do I feel more exhausted, more disoriented, more fragile than ever? This is because your entire system is redirecting its energy inward. Every ounce of vitality is going into the silent, unseen work beneath the surface, the growth of new root hairs, the microscopic connections to new sources of nourishment. Above ground there is no visible growth. There is only the patient, often painful, work of acclimation. This, beloved, is the sacred physics of your heaviness. You are not being punished by the uprooting, you are being honored by the replanting. The gardener does not go to this monumental effort for a shrub he plans to discard. He does this for a tree he has marked for greatness. The exhaustion, the grief, the disorientation, they are not signs of error. They are the precise somatic symptoms of a holy migration. You are leaving the depleted soil of a life that was adequate for a season, but would have become a prison for your soul. You are being carried, wrapped in the protective burlap of divine decree, to a terrain where your roots will drink from deep wells of purpose, and your branches will finally shade the people you were always meant to shelter. The resistance you feel, the clinging of the old earth, is simply proof of how deeply you had grown there. And the new heaviness of the unfamiliar soil is the pressure of a future being secured around you. Be patient through the shock. The leaves will return greener than before. The growth will come stronger than you dreamed. For now, just be the tree, trusting the gardener's hands, feeling the weight, and knowing it is the sure sign you are on the move to where you truly belong.